Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about some reasons why people may be pulled over by the police. Lately, I've been doing a lot of videos on my channel where I'm talking about different tips and things for people to know who are interested in law enforcement, but part of what I want to share on my channel is information about law enforcement just to the general public. So I wanted to share these reasons with you because I think some of this could be very interesting to people. And also, I know I have a lot of police officers who watch my channel, so I definitely want you guys to put down below in the comments different reasons why you would stop vehicles, especially if they are different from mine. One reason I think most people think that they're going to be pulled over by the police is for speeding. And in fact, we do know that speeding is very dangerous for you, for the vehicle you're in, for the other vehicles and people who are around you, and just in general. When you increase speed, you're going to increase property damage and injury. That's almost always the case. I think it's interesting because a lot of the traffic fatalities that I would see had insane amounts of speed associated with them and just absolutely catastrophic damages and injuries to people. So speeding is something that police officers definitely would want to address to keep communities and roads safer. I actually in my entire career only wrote one speeding ticket, and that was specifically because this person was speeding through an area that had a school, a daycare, a playground, and apartment buildings where there were always kids running around. It was just a very unsafe scenario. With that said though, speeding was definitely not my thing. Although I really enjoyed doing traffic stops, speeding not so much. And I'll talk about traffic in a past tense here because when I made supervisor, I really did not do many traffic stops. Especially in my particular agency, you are supervising so many people, you don't have time to be out doing these different proactive things that you enjoy doing yourself. Your responsibility is to your officers and to making sure that they're okay and responding to what they need you to. That's why I'm talking about this in the past. The area where I policed was very residentially dense and very populated, so there weren't a ton of open streets and spaces for people to be speeding on. I also found that as a patrol officer, my focus was driving to different locations where we knew crime would be happening and also driving to our different calls for service. So a lot of the traffic that I would do would be responding from call to call or going to these different locations, so it involved being out and about in traffic with vehicles. Not always the ideal situation for checking for people speeding. That's just another reason why I personally didn't enforce speeding regularly. Another thing that will get you pulled over is driving under the influence. So many people who are driving under the influence cannot maintain their traffic lane. They will swerve over the center line and all over the road. They also usually drive really slow or extremely fast, but usually you'll find that when they've caused an accident, they're trying to not catch anyone's attention. They also have slower response times to all kinds of things, whether that's stopping for your blue lights or stopping for a red light or a stop sign or going when the light is green, not using their turn signals, different things. But usually with a DUI driver, you're going to see multiple moving violations. It's going to signal to you that they could be under the influence of something. Sometimes if you really sit back and kind of watch what they're doing and how they're driving, you can tell that they are driving impaired. These calls take a little bit more observation and work. I will say though too, with any traffic stop, you never really know what you're gonna get. It's like opening Pandora's box. The majority are going to be simple, kind of cut and dry violations, and you can issue a citation or not. But with some traffic stops, you go into the situation and it turns into something completely different. You can find drugs, you can find guns, you can find people with warrants. I stopped a car once with 4 people in the car and every single person went to jail. Not something that I anticipated based on making that initial traffic stop, but something that happened once I did more investigation into it. Another reason you may get pulled over is for running red lights. And this is also one that's more simple in my mind, but also very blatantly obvious that many police officers are going to do something about it, particularly when you're sitting at a light and it's red. The light cycle, your light turns green, and then even maybe seconds later, somebody goes through the intersection. But there are also people who go through red lights and it is just very much so after the fact and very blatant that they've completely disregarded whatever that is, or they were distracted, or whatever the situation was, that's something that's definitely going to catch a police officer's attention. And while we're kind of on the topic of that traffic control device, it could really be any sign that's telling you to do something. So stop, yield, no turn, those kinds of things, where it's kind of blatantly there and you can see it and read it. A cop's going to be able to see it and read it. So that could definitely be something to get you pulled over as well. So like I discussed before, I police in an area where we're constantly moving around, driving from place to place. And one thing that I would always do is just run every single tag that I could see. So inevitably, while doing this, you're going to get tags that come back suspended or expired. Now, when you look at a tag that's expired a couple days or a couple weeks, that's much different than a tag that has been suspended for, say, 6 months. And along with that, again, like I mentioned, suspended registration. Another really big one, in my opinion, was no valid insurance. That's a big liability for the driver and for everyone else on the road, essentially. Those are different things. If you know your tag is suspended, or you know your tag is expired, or you know you don't have insurance on your car, that could be a really good reason that you would get pulled over. And the last thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to why you might get pulled over are equipment violations. You may stop a vehicle because they have a headlight out and the driver may be wanted. You might stop a vehicle because the headlight's out and they may be DUI. So I think it's definitely an acceptable reason to pull over a vehicle. Let me know down below in the comments, what are some reasons that you pull over cars? Even if they're different from mine, put them down below. And also to my other friends watching, let me know what are some things that you've been pulled over for that you may agree or disagree with, or things that you would like to see police officers pulling people over for. I'd be really interested to see what you guys think of that. So thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you guys so much. As always, y'all stay safe out there, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks guys, bye. You're going to get tags that come back expended. I guess so. The other police agencies.